This present set of videos, or not videos, but the designs that I intended to use to make on video to help you create your own cutwork designs have caused me a great deal of angst. All the designs I like are involved, and I didn't want to intimidate anybody, but I also didn't want to make the design so simple it didn't engage you, and even more importantly, it didn't challenge you, because without that challenge you won't grow in your digitizing. But if the challenge was too steep, you wouldn't bother trying, so you wouldn't start with your digitizing. And so this is the fourth set of videos that I'm doing for a cutwork design. I discounted the design when I first came across it, not because I thought it was too hard or too difficult. I discounted it because I didn't particularly like it. But of course it's not down to me. It's not my tastes. The whole object of doing the videos is to get you used to your tools and new techniques. So I have to sublimate what I like and offer you a design that gives you something that's within your reach. And I'm reasonably confident that this particular design is within your reach. It's simple, and yet it's still challenging. And it's not so simple that you'll get bored with it. And it's not so challenging that you'll become highly frustrated with it. At least I hope not, because I don't want to have to remake yet another set of videos trying to cover a cutwork design. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go to the Edit drop-down menu and go to Preferences. And inside Preferences, mine defaults for some reason to save. Don't auto-save. Now I know there are people who tell you you must auto-save. It will save you losing all your work. No, it interferes with what you're doing. And not only that, if you have made a mistake in your particular software, particularly in a program like the Genome software, if you have just done a bad edit or a particularly horrendous design, not an horrendous design, but you've done an horrendous last object, and it crashes your program, and it can happen, and your program has auto-saved it. When you try to reopen your program, it will not open. It'll go into a crash loop. Now, I came across it very early on in my first Genome software. I'd got 300 plus copies of a bad file, and it took me nearly a whole day to track that file down, because I didn't know about backup files and recovery files and all the rest of it. I was a green user. That's when I discovered auto-saving was a bad idea. Get into the habit of saving your work every step of the way. Takes more time? A split second. And what's a split second? If it means you're not going to put yourself into a crashing loop, learn to get into the habit of saving your work every step of the way. I don't make backup files. Okay. I go into the tab that says hoop. It's not a hoop, it's a work area. And I want you to set up a work area that's 10 millimeters shorter than your largest hoop as the width. Because your machine will determine how big you can make this. I'm afraid this design isn't suitable for the 4x4 hoops. Okay, I'm doing the width. I want 190 because my sewing field is 200 by 140. I want a height of 130. That's my B hoop lying on its side. Okay, I want my grid 2 millimeters by 1 millimeter. I leave my edit mode alone. My guides, I have reset the colors to blue, navy blue and orange, and selection is on brick red. So I tell that apply. Now you can see my screen has totally changed. Now I go to image, and in the drop down menu I select import, and I go to my image folder, and it's not in that one, it's in embed videos. Okay, where are you? Embed videos, there you are. And I want cherry. Okay. Do I want to scale the image to fit my current hoop? Yes, please. There is my image. That is my current hoop. This design is a border edge for a cloth. And you will be getting the whole sheet for your pattern. I've just clipped this one out. And these go along the edge for tablecloths. You can make a rectangle in the middle, and you've got on the sheet there is one design for a corner of a rectangle, and then you have these. You've got this. So you make up either a small cloth to fit the top of the table or a big cloth that hangs down over the side of the table with a centre rectangle. And this is known as Richelieu embroidery or Richelieu cutwork. And the reason it's known as Richelieu cutwork is because of the connecting bars. Okay, now we go into image, background, edit image window. Because your work area that you have told the program you want now has a graphic that completely fills it, and it does completely fill it lengthwise. There you go. That's the extent of my workspace. You tell it you want a border, and that's the third icon along, and it's the one on the right. You click on that, you click on that, and you raise that to 5mm, and you tell that apply. What has happened now, it has given you a 5mm border at that end, which takes me up to 195, and a 5mm border at this end, which takes me up to 200, and it's given me an additional 5mm up here, which moves me well away from the top of my hoop on my workspace when I'm trying to lay nodes, because Embed is very good. It's excellent at suddenly grabbing your mouse cursor and you end up with a loop that goes wee all the way all over the place. So that's to aid you as you're digitizing. Okay, now I'm going to drop the image scale, not the size, the scale. Now you can see I've got that nice convenient border, and it's a cherry, or at least I think it's a cherry. I don't really know. And a big squirrely scroll on a reasonably pleasant shape with a straight bottom. This is designed to be cut out of your main fabric. It's not designed for you to stitch and then stitch onto your main fabric. Now, as it is, it's a little bit too dark to use as a digitizing template. So I go into image. No, I don't. You have to forgive me. I've had a particularly trying day today. Background filters. And I think that's quite pale enough. That allows me to see where I'm laying my nodes and any guidelines I might be putting in and anything else. So I'm going to finish this video here, and I will see you in the next video.